Hello, my love.
Howdy.
So today, can you hear me well enough? Is my mic close enough to my face?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know if I can hear you?
Oh, well, I guess we're gonna find out then. I'll fix it in post. Anyway, so as you can tell, me and Kay are recording together today because Janelle had to take a week off for her health, her literal health and mental health. So
I'm a mental health.
you're a mental something.
Yep.
There are going to be many dog noises in the background because the recording room is not big enough. I'm going to put them both in the
Scritch,
crate.
scritch, scritch.
I know, it's driving me nuts. Hopefully that keeps the animals from being too noisy, although as animals are, they are just not noisy. Anyway, how are you, my love?
Dandy as a lion.
What? I said that at work to one of my
How dare you steal my line?
to one of my residents the other day, and they were like, "What?" And I was like,
It's the hot new saying.
yeah.
I made it up.
And they laughed. So, I am also fine. Thank you for asking.
Oh, my bad.
No.
We live together. I don't think to ask you. We talk all day long.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I am okay. I guess I'll just hop into my highs and lows. My low is that, as you well know, I have limited range of mobility on the right side of my body because,
AKA, you're suffering.
yeah,
You say it so clinically.
I am literally suffering. I can't turn my head to the right very well. I can't lift my right arm very well, which
Oh, that's
kind of,
weird.
I'm not really sure what's going on. I went to the chiropractor today. It was basically, I took a muscle relaxer last night, and he looked at me and he was like, "This is after you took a muscle relaxer," and I was like, "Yes." Um, his office is right across from the public library, which I knew, but I did not realize
Oh,
that
right.
that
So
would
it's
be
a
like a
voting location.
public or a polling station. So it was very busy. I had to park in the handicapped spot, which he did tell me I was allowed to do.
That's good.
My highs,
Me. I'm great.
I do love you. You are pretty great. My highs are something good had to have happened this past week, right? What happened?
I don't remember things.
That long stretch of silence says it all.
It says I don't remember things.
Oh, okay. I'll just say my highs are that I am doing this recording with you because I have a brand new laptop. And so this laptop is, like I said, brand new and it's actually functioning properly. And it doesn't take 36 minutes to turn on and another 36 minutes to recognize a command. And I'm very excited about
I
it.
feel like you're calling my laptop out.
No, I'm calling my laptop out.
Oh.
Your laptop is fine.
I
Your
mean,
laptop
it's
is
not
the one.
super speedy.
No, but yours is the one that I have been recording on because my laptop just sucked. And your laptop, probably once I take off all of the shit that I have saved on it, will probably run a little bit faster. So, what are your highs and lows?
My low is that on trying to log into Zencaster, Chrome informed me that there's a security breach with my passwords that are saved in Chrome.
Oh,
So I'm actually trying to work on fixing some of those right now.
while we're recording?
Maybe?
Great. So you're going to be paying very close attention.
Yes.
Awesome.
My high.
Hi. Stop. Do not grudge sound.
I'm sorry. What's my high?
We had Tori come over this weekend. That was
That's
fun.
true. My high is that our friend came over for the first time in like 10 months.
We literally,
It was a
for the
good time.
first time since quarantine started, had somebody over to the house, and that was the same day that I found out that one of my residents tested positive.
That's true.
I mean, it turned out that it was a false alarm and it was just a false positive, but it was like the first time we have somebody over and it's like, dang it, somebody tested positive. I'm so upset. But it was a false alarm, so no harm, no foul. Well, we really do just talk to each other all day long, so I don't know. I guess I'll just hop into my story.
Jump right in. Hop right in.
All right, so I originally had a story saved for this episode, but it is a story that I was going to tell, one that you already know. So to save you from having to hear it again, because when I do finally tell it, you'll listen to the episode and then you'll hear it again anyway. So, to save you rather from having to listen to the story again, I got online really quick and found a story of a missing person. And I'm going to tell that to you right now.
Okay.
So, that story that I was going to tell
I don't get to hear.
originally, still on the back burner for Janelle and I. What was that?
I said that I don't get to hear the original story.
You will. You've already heard it.
But I didn't get to hear it planned out and coherently.
Well, you will get to hear it planned out and coherently when I tell it to Janelle in 2 weeks.
Woo!
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story of the disappearance of Bethany Ann Decker. You know anything about this? Probably.
I'm not thinking I do.
Okay, well, I didn't know 100% because this is another one of those suggestions from that Reddit post that you sent me many weeks ago. So I'll just dive right in. So Bethany Ann Decker was born on May 13th, 1989 in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and her maiden name was Little John.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me.
One word or?
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of information about like her early life or childhood life or anything like that, but she graduated high school, obviously, and went to George Mason University, obviously in Virginia, and majored in global and economic change, which I did not even realize was a major that you could major.
Okay.
That sounds horrifically boring to me, but I guess it takes all kinds of kinds.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me. So she supported herself through school by waitressing, and I don't know, like, I couldn't find exactly which restaurant she waitressed for, but just that she was a waitress. And while she was in school, she met her husband, Emil Decker, who was in the Army National Guard. And while she was in school, she became pregnant with his son, and then they got married 3 months into her pregnancy, sometime in 2009, and then their son was born 6 months later.
Okay.
So, as you know, the late 2000s, early 2010s were very turbulent time. And so, as an armed forces person, Emil was often deployed to Afghanistan. And this was during like most of their marriage. So while he was deployed, she continued to work and go to school, where she met and began an affair with a Bolivian immigrant by the name of Ronald Roldan, which seems like a fake name to me because Roldan is just like a scrambled word of Ronald.
Yeah, it is.
It's Roldan.
I thought you were trying to say Ronald.
No, his first name is Ronald. His last name is Roldan.
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 I don't think I can say that correctly.
That sounds like a fake name to me.
Yep.
Anyway, so, and he was like, well, I'm not going to spoil the story before I get there, but this clearly and obviously created some marital issues between Bethany and Emil. And in 2010, Bethany left the house that she shared with Emil and moved into an apartment in Ashburn, Virginia, and started a full-time relationship with Ronald. However, when you know it, Ronnie Boy was abusive as fuck. So, according to Bethany's family and friends, he was physically abusive, possessive, and manipulative. He would demand that she send him pictures several times a day to prove where she was and who she was with. So that's not at all alarming. Her parents said that she was scared in the relationship and they had started to try to like get a plan to get her out of the relationship. But by the end of 2010, she became pregnant with
Ding.
her second child. That is my dinner, so I'm going to pause. So the sources that I read never outright said it, but I get a feeling from the articles that I read that the child was not a product of consensual intercourse. So take that how you will.
Oh, I see.
So clearly, obviously, Emil found out about Bethany's affair after she had already left Ronald. And so in January of 2011, while Emil was on leave from his deployment, the two went on a vacation to Hawaii together, and this was kind of like in an effort to save their marriage. So they returned from their trip on January 28th, 2011, and they stayed at Emil's parents' house, who were apparently like unaware of all of the issues that were going on in their marriage. And on the 29th, Emil had reported that he saw her before she left to return to her own apartment in Ashburn, and she had told him, yes, I will come see you off when you go back on deployment, because he was going back out to his deployment on February 3rd. So Ronald, I guess, later reported that he had also seen her on the afternoon of the 29th, and that was the last time he saw her too. And her employer, which was the restaurant she worked at, also confirmed that she had called on the afternoon on the 29th to confirm her work schedule for the upcoming week. So Emil's leave ended on February 2nd, and, everybody showed up to say goodbye to him at the airport except for Bethany. And that was kind of strange because people are like, oh, Bethany always comes to see him off, but she didn't this time. But most people chalked it up to, like, the problems in their marriage.
Okay.
So,
I'm following.
in around this time that Bethany was, like, kind of ghosting everyone, nobody really thought anything of it because this semester she, was a mother of two. She was working full time, and this was her last semester in college. So she was about to graduate. So everybody was like, oh, we don't hear from her that often anymore. But that makes sense because she's really buckling down on her studies for her last semester. So, according to her parents, it wasn't uncommon for her to go days and sometimes a week or so before she actually reached out to them. So now we're like 17 days later, on February 19th, when Bethany's mom, Kim, was contacted by a couple of her friends expressing concerns over some strange Facebook messages and posts that they didn't seem to be, like, in Bethany's character. And Emil even later said that he got a, quote, sketchy email from Bethany that he also said was very out of character for her. So,
But out of character, how? Like, it was unusual
no,
for her
in
to
that,
send a message, or like
in the way
it
that
just
she
didn't sound like
talked
the
and
way
the
she
things that she
talked?
said did not sound like how she would talk and how she would type. So
Okay.
Kim, who's Bethany's mom, even admitted, like, okay, you know what, over 2 weeks is a very long time to hear anything from Bethany, and that did seem slightly out of character. So she drove past the apartment in Ashbury to find that Bethany's car was still in the parking lot, but it was parked at, like, a strange angle. It was, like, double parked, and one of the tires was flat, and there was dust piled up on the car, which her grandparents, who live in the same apartment complex, I think, if I understood correctly, said there was no dust on her car like that just a week before. So this immediately raised red flags, and Kim knocked on the door, but Bethany did not answer, and that's when Kim decided to call the police. And she, that day, submitted a missing persons report. So during the investigation, officials found out a couple of things. Her bank accounts, credit card, and cell phone had all not been used since the last day anyone confirmed that they spoke with her, which was back on January 29th. She had been pregnant, but now, instead of being certain it was Ronald's babies, investigators were unsure of who got her pregnant because when she would have gotten pregnant, Emil was on leave. He had, like, a week-long leave at the, like, end of September, beginning of October.
Oh, okay.
So the investigation into school and work said, no, she hasn't actually shown up to work or school, like, in the last 2 weeks or so. And I don't know why nobody was suspicious way back then, because apparently she was very punctual. She never missed class. She
So if
never
she just
missed
stopped
work.
showing up, it's fine.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Initially, police zeroed in on Emil and Ronald, citing that they both had very clear motives to do her any harm, given that they were all in, like, this weird love triangle that she kind of initiated. So Emil was actually over in Afghanistan at this point. He was contacted by authorities and was later flown back to the States to conduct an official and apparently very lengthy interview, and he took a polygraph. He agreed to a polygraph, which he apparently passed. So during this time, around, like, when she had disappeared, the lease on the apartment that she shared with Ronald expired, and Ronald told the authorities that when she didn't return, he assumed he moved back in with her family, but didn't tell or say anything to anybody about it. So if that alone doesn't sound suspicious enough to you, I'll tell you why investigators zeroed in harder on Ronald.
Please tell me.
Homie had a track record.
What kind of record on what?
He had arrests on his file for identity theft, destruction of property, in which I guess he had broken somebody else's car windows and slashed their tires, and public intoxication.
That's an interesting set of things.
Yeah, so he was a real A-plus winner. Winner, chicken dinner, I guess. So during his interview, he was pretty inconsistent and less concrete on the answers about what he had seen when he had seen Bethany's car outside of the apartment complex. Like, he was like, I guess, oh, it was parked there the whole time, and other times he said, oh, well, I saw it move a couple of times, but other times it was there and sometimes it wasn't. So he was just really not consistent. So in March, police obtained a search warrant for his apartment, and on the affidavits, it cited possible murder for like why they needed the search warrant. And they seized several items from his apartment, but none of those items actually yielded any like usable evidence or any evidence at all. So after that search warrant had been carried out, apparently Ronald like stopped cooperating with police entirely, and he was named a person of interest in the investigation, and today is still a person of interest.
Alrighty.
Unfortunately, without Ronald's cooperation, Bethany's case goes cold until about 2014 when Ronald pops back up on police radar. Would you like to know why?
Of course.
On November 12th, 2014, at around 1:30 in the morning, Moore County Police in North Carolina responded to a 911 call where police said Ronald Roldan shot his girlfriend, a girl named Vicky Willoughby.
I'm sorry, I still
Once
can't get over Ronald Roland.
I know, Roldan.
Rolled. I told you I would not say it correctly.
He shot his girlfriend, a girl at the time named Vicky Willoughby, once in the head and twice in the torso. Vicky lost an eye, but she survived the attack, and while she had shot Roland first in the violent encounter, she was not charged with anything because police believed that she was acting in self-defense. However, Roland, after he was released from the hospital, he was taken to jail where he was held on a $1 million bond.
That is quite a bond.
Yeah. So while he was in jail, Virginia police questioned him on whether or not he was ready to talk about Bethany, but he referred them to his lawyer. And in the case with Vicky Willoughby, he initially intended apparently to plead not guilty to any charges brought against him, but the evidence piled against him was too incriminating. So instead, he took a plea deal where he would only spend 6 to 8 years in prison. Which, like, that's so shitty. Meanwhile, Vicky appeared on an episode of Dr. Phil that was, like, about Bethany Decker.
Ew. One of my professors in college used to call him Dr. Filth.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's not even a real doctor.
Well, yeah.
Dr. Phil. That's way too funny. So, Vicky had appeared on an episode of Dr. Phil, which was, like, about Bethany Decker, where she had told Dr. Phil that Ronald had once told her that he could, quote, make people disappear. So, that's not a good look. While the prosecutors in North Carolina say that Roland will be deported back to Bolivia after he finishes out his sentence, Loudoun County Police in Virginia, which is where this all happened to begin with, are expected to ask a grand jury to indict him for the murder of Bethany Decker, even though her remains have never been found and there has never been any forensic evidence recovered to suggest her murder. They're essentially going to try to get him all with circumstantial evidence, but apparently the prosecution against him thinks that it's, even though it's all circumstantial, it's enough to convince a jury beyond reasonable doubt. So,
Beyond a reasonable doubt, even though there's no body.
they say that they've got what they need. Bethany's mom, Kim, she still holds out hope that maybe her daughter will come home alive one day, although she knows that, I think on some level, that's probably not going to happen. She works closely with the Help Save the Next Girl initiative, which is an organization dedicated to helping women safely leave abusive relationships. So, I'll close out my story with this. If you have any information about the disappearance of Bethany Decker, you are encouraged to reach out to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office at area code 703-777-0445. And to learn more about local efforts to help young women protect themselves from predatory situations, visit Help Save the Next Girl at www.helpsavethenextgirl, all one word, .com. And that is the story of the disappearance of Bethany Decker.
Very interesting.
So, you have some gaming news for me,
Okay. I have gaming news for you. I gotta get this all straightened out.
Wow, thank you for crumpling the paper in my ear.
I just wanted to make sure the people could hear me.
Because I made the gaming notes and I printed them out for her.
And then folded them for some reason like they're going in an envelope.
Well, I put them in my purse because I printed them at work.
Your purse is a very big envelope.
Exactly. So tell me some gaming news.
Okay. We have some news about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, please.
There is always news about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, I know. It got pushed back again.
Well, apparently you already know, so we'll just skip that.
No, just tell the story. The people want to know.
On November 2nd, Chinese tech company OnePlus announced a limited edition Cyberpunk 2077 smartphone, which came only days after CDPR announced the delay in the release of the game. Perfect timing. The phone looks like it comes straight out of the Cyberpunk 2077
Why are you laughing?
because what you typed was Cyberpunk.
To be fair, I copied and pasted that part. So,
Anyway, comes with 2 filters, Night City and Northern California. What does that mean? How do you have a filter on a phone?
filters like picture filters.
Oh, I see. That is what it means. Okay. Customized sound effects, a yellow Cyberpunk 2077 engraving on the back with matching accents, and a customized case as well as 6 limited edition badges. The only downside appears to be the massive protruding camera nodule on the back. Wow, nothing as attractive as something called a nodule.
Have you seen pictures of it? Probably.
I have not.
Okay, I'll show you a picture when we're done recording.
This,
The camera does look a bit alarming.
the specs for the phone has a 120 hertz screen, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor, and 256 gigs of storage. That's a fancy phone.
It's like a tablet almost, or a laptop.
It's on pre-order in China for 3,900 yen, which is about 600 USD. So is it only available in China?
I don't know the answer to that question. Probably.
Well, in other gaming news, Epic and Apple. Why are you laughing? In other gaming news, Epic and Apple are still fighting, and they will officially appear in court for it on May 3rd, 2021. So I've got on that. So a few weeks ago, you had a list of games that PS5 would not be backwards compatible with. And now Ubisoft has come up with their own list of games that will also not be backwards compatible on the PS5. And sadly, it's a lot of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy Pack. I don't even know what that means. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, China, and Russia. All 3 of them. That's what it means. Risk. I didn't know Ubisoft had a PS4 Risk game. Star Trek Bridge Crew, Werewolves Within, and Space Junkies. This list was then taken down, and a spokesperson for Ubisoft told The Verge, "We've pulled the Ubisoft Connect article and forum post regarding backwards compatibility for the time, as there may be inaccuracies involving the Ubisoft titles that will be playable on PS5. The interesting thing to note here is that none of these games appeared on a list that Sony released on their PlayStation blog."
Yeah, that Joe's Diner, man.
Wow, what did I just say?
What do you mean? What did you just say?
I said a few weeks ago there was a list of games that would not be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And now Ubisoft has their own different
Yeah,
list.
that seems to be the problem. Is that most people are like, wait a second, so who's in the wrong here?
Well, Ubisoft says they will have a new corrected list posted within the week.
Whatever that means.
Which week they didn't specify. But it will be the week.
Yeah, I guess so.
Twitch announced on Twitter on Monday 11/2 that they would be holding a virtual TwitchCon.
Why did you say it like that?
Why did you interrupt me?
11/2.
Because that's how it's written. I'm just reading the paper.
You could.
I can read. I might be from Polk County, but I can read. So anyway, Twitch is having a virtual TwitchCon on Saturday, November 14th. That's pretty soon. Not only are they holding the conference digitally this year because of the Rona, this is funny. The name of the event, instead of TwitchCon this year, it's going to be GlitchCon. And that's all, folks. Except don't sue us for saying that phrase.
Well, that's all, folks.
I don't have rights to it. I'm sorry.
In my head, yeah, I was gonna say that you should have said it like Porky Pig. Can you say?
I don't want to try with people listening.
I'll edit it out.
No.
Well, that was a fun episode. Thank you for recording with me.
I love you.
I love you too.
It's a very short episode. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. I
don't add as much commentary as Janel does.
That's okay. This story that I did was kind of short because I was like, I need a story that I can put notes together for in 2 hours.
Right. We were a little pressed for time this week.
That's okay.
It happened.
I am still happy to have you record.
Hopefully the audio works this time, because last time we tried this, your part didn't save.
Yeah, but we checked it this time and it made noise.
Yay, noise!
Stop. So, I guess we will do closing statements.
Are we in a courtroom?
No, those are closing arguments.
Oh, you're right. Silly me. I'm not a lawyer, clearly. What are closing?
My closing statements are if you would like to follow us on social, you can do so on Instagram at ghoulgaminggals.podcast and on Twitter at ghoulgaminggals. If you want to follow, I don't know if we're on Facebook or not, I don't have one. If you want to follow Janelle's Twitch, it is Janelle Nelly. She streams more often than I do, but if you'd like to follow my Twitch, it is Ariamakila, spelled AUREUMAQUILA. Try figuring that one out. If you would like to donate to our Patreon, it is patreon.com/ghoulgaminggals. If you'd like to check out our website, it's ghoulgaminggals.com, where you can see all the written content for all of our episodes, including pictures and references from this episode that we just recorded. If you have a story to submit, you can do so at ghoulgaminggals.com through our contact section, where there is a story submission form, or you can email us directly at ghoulgaminggals@gmail.com. And I think that's it.
The most important one of those, I just want to say, is the Instagram, because every once in a while I make memes for it, and our friend Hunter also makes memes for it, and that's the best part.
Podcast memes are best memes. So, on that note, I guess I'll do it.
Yep.
Oh, and now that we're finished recording, they are so sweet and cuddled, and Freya's like got her paws wrapped around him. I'm gonna try to get a picture. Anyway, goodbye.
Okay, bye.